Oh my God, no. That.
These aren't campfire stories or internet myths. These are real encounters caught on camera by people who barely made it out. And one of them might change the way you think about being alone in the woods forever. If you like stories where the woods don't stay quiet for long, you found your trail. I cover the eerie, the unexplained, and the moments that make even seasoned hikers look over their shoulder. So do me a favor. Sneak up on the Lake Buttons campsite and swap its marshmallows with rocks. So grab your flashlight and let's get into it. In August 2023, Daniel O'Neill, a soft-spoken outdoorsman from the UK, set out on another solo camping trip. He'd done this dozens of times. Record his hike, cook a meal by the fire, and talk to his subscribers about gear and nature. The woods were quiet, his tone calm, the kind of peace you only find far from cities. As the evening faded, Daniel noticed something strange. Footprints, fresh ones, pressed deep into the damp soil, too large to be his. He chuckled nervously, brushed it off as someone passing through earlier, and kept walking. But a few minutes later, he stopped again. There it was, a sound. Slow, deliberate footsteps following just behind. He called out, "Hello?" Silence. He listened. The wind shifted, the trees whispered, and then, again, the crunch of leaves, this time closer.
Is that a badger? Hello?
Every time Daniel turned around, the sound stopped, like whatever was moving knew when he was listening. He set up his small camp anyway, trying to laugh it off for the camera. But as darkness bled into the trees, the sounds returned, circling him now, each step deliberate, human. You can hear the unease in his voice on the video. "I don't care what people say. I can't stay here tonight."
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I'm going to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but...
His breathing quickens. He pans the camera across the black tree line. Nothing. His viewers later commented they could hear faint footsteps even when Daniel was speaking, overlapping his words like something pacing in the background. Then came the breaking point. A twig snaps, clear, sharp, close. Daniel whirls around. The camera shakes, catching nothing but darkness. "Nope," he mutters. "I'm done." He packs in seconds, the sound of rustling gear almost drowned by what seems like one last footstep.
But only be that person when it's safe, you're relaxed and you're happy. I don't know what's in that woodland. I don't know what was going on earlier, or the noises that I heard, what made me pack up.
Right behind him, the recording cuts there. Daniel uploaded the video a few days later, visibly shaken. He swore no one else was in the area. Authorities found no signs of trespassers or wildlife tracks matching those sounds. To this day, no one knows who or what was walking behind him in that forest. But everyone who's watched the footage agrees on one thing: it doesn't sound like an animal. 1,000 miles away, another hiker would stumble into something just as chilling. Only this time, the danger wasn't stalking him. It was waiting for him, hidden in plain sight. In the summer of 2019, bikers and hikers were swarming the Rampant Range in Colorado, a stretch of wild beauty where the trails twist through tall pines and echo with the hum of tires on dirt. For years, this was a haven for anyone chasing that mountain freedom. The forest felt alive, safe, until it wasn't. One morning, a mountain biker coasting down a familiar slope suddenly hit the brakes. A thin metal wire glinted across the path, stretched tight between two trees, just inches from his neck. At first, he thought it was a stray cable from old fencing, maybe left by rangers. But when he looked closer, his stomach dropped. The wire was pulled taut deliberately, right at head height. Over the next few weeks, reports flooded in. Riders and hikers finding similar traps. Wires, nails, even boards with spikes buried under leaves. They weren't accidents. Someone had gone deep into the forest, scouting perfect choke points and setting them like snares. The intent was clear. People began riding slower, eyes darting between trees. The sound of laughter on the trail turned into silence. Each bend could hide a line of steel waiting to tear through flesh. One witness told authorities, "This isn't a prank. It's murder waiting to happen." Another rider, visibly shaken, said on camera, "If I hadn't stopped, that thing would have taken my head off." Even the sheriff called it the work of someone who knows these woods too well. Locals began whispering about an unhinged recluse, someone who hated the sound of engines or hikers crossing what he thought was his land. Then came the chilling discovery. Rangers found a section of trail where multiple wires were layered, 3, one above the other, like a trap meant for different heights. Children, adults, bikers, hikers, no one would have escaped unhurt. Yet, despite hidden cameras and patrols, no one was ever caught placing them. Whoever did it knew when to vanish. Cleanup teams removed what they could, but fear lingered longer than the danger. Even now, riders claim they slowed down near those same trees, scanning for glints of wire. Some trails were closed permanently. The Rampant Range, once a place of adventure, turned into a reminder of how the most dangerous predator on the trail might be human. But not every threat in the wilderness hides behind wire and steel. Sometimes it walks right up to you, smiling, pretending it means no harm. In 2022, Lisa, a solo traveler from Canada, was spending her summer in the French countryside. She lived out of her van, a cozy, self-built home on wheels, cooking simple meals, filming her hiking in the forest trails. Her channel was small, but growing. Viewers loved her calm voice and quiet, scenic life. One late afternoon, she parked by a trailhead and began filming as she cooked dinner. The side door of her van was open, letting in the evening air. Then, out of nowhere, a man's head appeared in the doorway. He spoke French, fast, slurred, smiling strangely. Lisa froze. She didn't speak the language. She tried to laugh it off, telling him she didn't understand. He didn't leave. Instead, he pulled out his phone and opened Google Translate. For several minutes, he stood there, typing, waiting, showing her phrases that made no sense. Lisa kept recording, trying to stay calm, but her voice trembled. "I think he's trying to ask where I'm from," she whispered to the camera. Then came a sudden shift. The man leaned closer, blocking her exit, peering into the van. His smile faded. His eyes didn't. Lisa quickly shut the door and pulled the curtain closed, but the sound of his footsteps didn't fade. He stayed outside, in the rain, for 30 minutes. You can hear her whispering behind the curtain. "Please leave. Please, just leave." Through the narrow window, she caught glimpses of him circling the van, repositioning his car to block hers from leaving. Viewers later replayed the footage, pointing out a reflection. His figure standing perfectly still near the bushes, watching. She called him sketchy again and again, her voice trembling more each time.
He's really sketchy. He's really scaring me.
Just as the sun disappeared, headlights appeared behind her. A family in an RV pulled up and parked nearby. The man hesitated, then slowly backed away, disappearing into the trees. Lisa stayed awake all night, filming updates in whispers. Around 3 a.m., the same car reappeared, headlights off, engine barely humming. When the driver saw the RV family was still there, he turned and vanished for good. The next morning, Lisa packed up and left. In her follow-up video, her voice cracked as she said, "If that family hadn't shown up, I don't know what would have happened." No one ever identified the man. Some believe he'd been watching her for days, following her online posts to find where she camped. Lisa stopped camping alone for a while after that, because sometimes the scariest thing on a trail isn't what's hiding in the woods, it's who's already standing beside you. And while Lisa's story ended with headlights and a lucky escape, Others weren't that fortunate because in the forests of New Jersey, someone was setting traps meant to draw blood. In the fall of 2022, a solo hiker and YouTuber known as Coco Bear Hikes set out on a stretch of the Appalachian Trail, one of the most isolated and unforgiving paths in the eastern United States. He'd hiked sections of it before, endless forests, whispering trees, the sound of his boots crunching through wet leaves. It was peaceful, predictable, until it wasn't. That evening, the trail had gone silent. No wind, no birds, just stillness. Coco stopped to adjust his pack when the first gunshot cracked through the air. Close, maybe 100 yards away. It wasn't a hunter's distant pop. It was sharp, echoing between trees, and followed by another and another.
There it goes again. It's gonna be 4. And so it's like a really weird place to shoot.
He froze. His breath hitched. Sweat broke down his spine despite the cool mountain air. At first, he tried to rationalize it. Target practice, maybe? But as the echoes faded, he realized something far worse. The shots weren't random. They were spaced, deliberate, and getting closer. His video footage captures the moment his breathing grows fast, uneven. He whispers, "I don't think I'm alone out here."
I think the trail goes that way. So like, maybe it's just me being paranoid, but I have like a weird feeling. It's like, why the f are you shooting right off trail? Only 4 shots.
Then, silence again. Only the sound of his boots scraping dirt as he tries to move without making noise. Minutes drag, then another shot, this time from a different direction. He ducks behind a tree, camera trembling in his hands. "I can feel it in my chest," he says softly. "Like I'm being hunted." Later in the video, he explains that his entire body started wrenching in sweat, as though his instincts were screaming to run. "It wasn't fear in my head," he said.
So it's not. I'm just like sketched out, you know, like a little.
It was something deeper, like every nerve knew I had to get out. He described feeling watched, every step echoing too loud, every rustle behind him sounding human. When he finally broke into a jog, the forest seemed to close in, the trail twisting endlessly in front of him. Coco reached a clearing near dusk, gasping for air, when another shot cracked behind him, close enough that he felt the vibration in his chest. He turned the camera, pointing it toward the dark ridge. Nothing, no movement, no voice, just the echo dying in the valley. That was the moment he stopped recording. Hours later, he reached a ranger station, pale, drenched, and shaking. He told him someone had been firing near the trail, but rangers found nothing. No shell casings, no campers, no sound reports from nearby. When Coco uploaded the video weeks later, viewers noticed faint, distorted noises in the background. Not echoes, but a faint voice after one of the shots. Some swore it said, "Keep walking." Others said it was just static. Coco never hiked that section again. To this day, he says that part of the Appalachian Trail still makes him feel sick when he thinks about it, not because of what he saw, but because of what he left. Like the forest itself was warning him to leave. The woods have always felt alive, but stories like these remind us that sometimes it's not the forest watching you, it's someone else. And if you ever feel that sudden silence on a trail, don't ignore it.